If you have a sneaky suspicion that liberals are prone to violence, you're more likely to pay attention to raucous leftist demonstrations at Berkeley, while downplaying acts of violence at Donald Trump's own campaign rallies.
They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks.
And liberals tend to do the opposite. That's confirmation bias, the tendency we all have to interpret information in a way that supports what we already believe. And it's what we're talking about in this episode of Argument Clinic, a guide to spotting bad arguments on the internet. We are all inherently biased. We tend to weigh evidence more heavily if it confirms our belief and discount evidence that doesn't. And the internet, especially social media, is a giant confirmation bias machine. It makes it easy to find evidence to support just about any argument you want to make and ignore all the other stuff. For instance, let's say you want to prove that Trump supporters are violent. So you Google violent Trump supporters. You'll find a long list of ugly incidents. Of course, there may be millions of peaceful Trump supporters out there, but you didn't Google that. Social media, like Facebook, presents the same problem. We tend to like information that we agree with, which means we see more of it, which means we think there's more of it, which means we must be right. Right? That's why we have stuff like the scientific method, which uses control groups and placebos and peer review to ensure that our pre-existing ideas don't infect our findings. It's also why lawyers try to screen out biased jury members whose experiences and beliefs might prevent them from weighing evidence and arguments objectively. Now, unfortunately, most of the information online doesn't meet those standards. Just the opposite, in fact. Most of it is engineered to create an emotional response, not a rational one, because emotions are what get us to click and share. And there's no better way to stir people's emotions than by convincing them that they are right about everything and that anyone who disagrees is a moron. We'll never be able to eradicate confirmation bias, but we can at least try to limit it in our own lives. But just remember, anecdotes are not data. Be open to arguments that challenge your beliefs, and be modest and skeptical of everything you read, even if, no, especially if, it seems to prove what you already thought in the first place.